Giles. I'm sitting in here and I'm a member of Black Art in America. And part of my process, part of my process is trying to reach out, teach people, educate people, especially youth, on painting life in general. This is a picture that I'm doing now. What I found out is this meadow, excuse me for a minute. I should know this. Ferro is liberastas. I'm probably pronouncing it right. It was actually metal that were given to black fighters in the Civil War. So my particular piece I'm doing now, I expect a little bit of controversy, is with the Confederate flag and the Union flag, because we actually had black brothers that fought on both sides. Whether the guys that fought in the Confederacy felt an innate commitment to fight for the South, I doubt it. Or they didn't have a choice, they fought. So they should be recognized. So my painting here, I just thought I'd take you through the process. So you'll be getting uploads of videos every once in a while. This is how I normally start out with a piece of paper. I sketch out my format. I typically paint with props. The reason being, I mean, I can get my shattering, I can get the rendition of what the person looked like, and there's really no need to reinvent the wheel. Most artists know that. All artists from the beginning of the time capture different things from other artists, whether it's their technique, their style, their shades and what. This is a typical drawing. My medium of choice is watercolor, as you can see. Watercolor comes in a solid form, which I use sometimes to implement stuff. But my favorite is the tube. I like it because it's liquid already. I can pour it, I can mix the colors. This stuff you have to add a little water to, and the consistency between the two is different. Sometimes when I get into difficult colors or other things, I mix a little acrylic paint, water-based, with some of my watercolor paint. Here are the tools that I absolutely need to paint. Music. No music, no creativity. I'm sure all artists listen to music, something to keep them inspired. What I plan to do with this picture and other military pictures and things, my art typically generates around the black experience, whether it be family, jazz, the greats. I mean, I got some stuff in my head now that I'm going to go back and get people, and I want to catalog the lifetime achievements of people like Oprah and other people. I go through their lifestyle. I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll show you when I'm doing one of those pictures, but this could be a basic rendition. Okay, I'm going to take you through a quick session because my son said he has homework to do. He's not charging me anything for this video. Typically what I do, I look at a picture, I put it, I do my wash, my base. Ooh, sorry. You guys get that in the video, nothing's perfect. I do my wash and I layer it. What I like to layer my black and whites with is silver. Yes, silver, the ore. And I put it on when I'm brushing over top of my black and white. You mix it with water, and that's my base coat. Why silver? Because that ore, that element, that mineral, it spreads across the paper and provide me with a base in which I can layer the rest of my paint on top of it. I can mix it with white. I use it also because I can white it in and see where I'm gonna bring my shattering in, or different parts of the picture. Typically, my style of water paint is different than other people. As you can see here, a finished product of the two soldiers, one Union, one Confederate, And what you can see with the base colors, if you can zoom in there, you can zoom in and you can see what I layered. So when I start my first step in my watercolor process, it looks like this. Just the plain water and the silver. This is my second step where I come in with my shattering for the eyes. And then eventually, from layers and layers and layers, it's going to look like this. This is my final product, if you can see. Now, of course, I go back and touch it up in my artwork. What I tend to do is jump all over the place because my pieces are so large. And lately, my wife wants me to paint one simple subject, and I'm coming to that when you're just dealing with one subject matter. And you do a painting similar to my normal paintings here. This one of the lady and this one of the gentleman sitting on the bench. She also, although my studio is in the basement, where I do my oil paintings and some of my watercolors on the table, as you can see, I've taken over the dining room. Because, why? Because this piece of paper is just too large to have downstairs. Some artists paint on a platform and they sit their artwork up and they'll sit on the stool and paint. I find it's more comfortable for me. It's just more comfortable for me to take a look at it from here, from a two-dimensional state. And if I do well, once I lift it, once it's on display, everything come together. And I do that for perspective. Artists know what I'm talking about, so I can see my shadow and everything that's coming in. Okay. My son and I, Sterling Giles, soon to go to CNU for journalism, does a lot of my videos and stuff like that. So what I decided to do is to put a video on maybe once a week, maybe a little bit later sometime, on Facebook and on Black Artists in America on their site, so it gives young, inspiring artists an idea of how I go through the watercolor process. There's several ways that you can do watercolor, and I end on this note. Some artists paint and leave watercolor like I left it like that, where it's almost transparent. Transparent means you can see through it. My particular style, in order for me to get some of the realism and the colors that I want, I tend to put mine on like this. I apply it. A lot of people think it's gouache, or some people even think it's acrylic because I put it on so thick. It's just the way I prefer to paint. Please check me out at www.timgilesafroartsandcrafts or Timothy Lee Giles on Facebook. I have a Twitter account, and you will see my videos on YouTube. Holla. Keep creating. Peace.
So let's ball while we here. Let's ball while we here. Like ain't no tomorrow.